Jess.fm. Voice only. Ride along.
All right, guys, we're back with another episode of Jess.fm. It's a new week. It's episode 6, and I'm so happy to be here with you all today. If you join me Friday, you know I am not in my normal location. I'm not in a car today. I'm actually in a hotel room here in Columbus, Ohio. Like I said, I'm traveling for business. Plane just landed not too long ago, just got settled all in to my hotel room. And I said, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and record this episode early and before dinner that's playing later tonight. So I'm so happy to be with you guys today. How was your weekend? This is the first Monday episode back from a weekend of prior weeks of episodes. Like this thing is still going, guys. I'm like so excited that this is still going. If you missed any of the first 5 episodes, no worries. I have some good content for you. You'll consistently see me post clips and YouTube shorts, which are getting lots of tractions, even more than my other YouTube pages. The clips are getting lots of traction. I must be doing something right as far as engagement and reach. And so I want to keep up with it. You're also going to see cool little mini segments of our longer form episodes. These are going to be our loopback episodes. You can kind of hear a minute or two from each of our conversations. So many different ways to consume this great content. I want to make available to you. So if I seem a little more subdued, it's because I'm not in a car hollering, making sure you all can hear me. I hope you can still hear me now. But I really, really enjoy, again, being here with you all on this Monday. So welcome. Welcome if this is your first time. Comment below. Have you ever really listened to a audio only radio show on YouTube? I've seen audio only, but I also see a lot of graphics. And I'm intentionally not doing that with this brand because I want you all to focus on the conversation and have me focus on your input. So again, any of the clips, any of the videos you see, you're welcome. Comment. You don't have to agree. Please disagree. I love discourse. We can kind of, talk it out and hear both sides. I do enjoy a very balanced approach. But y'all get this. It was a busy, busy, busy weekend. A lot has happened. For this being the first Monday episode off of a prior week, I thought, you know what? I think Monday should include some form of weekend recap. So comment down below, what did you do this weekend? For me, again, I'm from North Texas, visiting Columbus, Ohio right now. And it's so funny how the weather is very similar in both places. This weekend was hot. It was muggy. It wasn't as rainy. I think it rained a bit. I want to say one of the days this weekend it rained. But for the most part, it was sunny weather. And it was Father's Day yesterday. Happy Father's Day to all of the fathers who had the opportunity or didn't have the opportunity to celebrate. Being a father is hard. It's sometimes a thankless job. Am I right? So if no one else on this earth has told you Happy Father's Day, you can hear it here from me, yours truly. So I hope that you enjoy, and keep doing what you're doing, dads. It is appreciated. It may not be noticed, but it is appreciated. I had the pleasure of enjoying my Father's Day, celebrating my father-in-law with my husband, my mother-in-law, my daughter. We had a really good time, and the best part of that whole gathering was my husband gifted his father a new truck. So his father was extremely shocked to tears. His mother had no clue. They both looked at me. They said, Jessica, you keep really good secrets. I'm like, it's not a secret. In due time. In due time. In due time, you have learned what your son had in mind for you. So I'm just feel blessed to be married to such a generous man with a great heart. A lot of people don't appreciate their spouse enough, and yesterday really opened my eyes to say to me and my soul, am I appreciating my spouse enough? Because he has taken care of me. He has been my peace. He has been my protection. And he's been a really good friend to me along the way. I just am so happy that me and my husband get along and we have good times and we laugh at the bad times and we bring it all together through the romance. So, happy Father's Day to you, my honey, and happy Father's Day again to all of the fathers out there listening to Just.fm today. So, beyond Father's Day, there's some other things that went on I thought I'd fill you in on. As you all know, when we talk on this channel, we skim the surface so that you can go a little deeper. Like I said, it was a busy weekend. Beyond Father's Day, Saturday, I had the joy of getting a chance to spectate my daughter's track meet. My daughter is a multi-athlete. Our summers are filled with athletics and our weekends are filled with track. She participates in multiple events, from field events where she won the first place for high jump. So congratulate her in the comments. This is the first time this summer she's won first place. She also participated in the 100 relay, 100-meter dash, the 200, the 400-meter dash. If you know anything about track life and all those events I just listed, you know that we're there all day long. So we do not play when we're getting ready for these track meets. Like, we have tons of food. We have so that you can save money from those concessions, and we have all of the spectator equipment you can think of. So, like, envision camping in the bleachers. Like, I love that we have like this super umbrella, as it's called. It's like a giant umbrella that multiple people can fit under, and then you strap it to the bleacher so obviously it doesn't blow away, but then you have shade from the sun. We come through with 2 fans. One of them has you can pour water in it, so it's more like a cooling effect, and then the other is just a standard fan that is really, 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 really good with blowing even outside. Like, you can feel the cool air. So we kind of set the whole ambiance underneath our superbrella. We are not playing with the fact that we are out there typically almost 8 hours on Saturday, and so we have to stay cool. We have to stay hydrated. I mean, everything from ice packs so that you can keep your body temperature down, tons of water obviously so you can stay hydrated, and all the things in between. So paint this picture for you because I want to get what y'all think about this. I thought I'd start today with a little bit of a story time. And I really want honest opinions, guys. I told my husband I need to ask the radio show about this event that happened while at the track meet this Saturday. All right. So, like I said, we have our tent or superbrella all ready to go. If you have ever attended track meets, you are not going to be the only one with a tent. Like, a lot of people either tent or camp out around the actual track. But then if you're like me, I like to be able to see my daughter from the stands. And so I and my husband, we camp out in the bleachers. And we've been doing this for probably since she started running track, which this is her 2nd year. There's lots of kids, lots of parents. So we made a focused plan to every time we go to the track meet, we're going to sit at the 50-yard line at the top of the bleachers. So my daughter always knows where she is, because sometimes the kids in between, or not where she is, she knows where we are. Sometimes the kids, after their events, they'll come up and they'll look for their parents, celebrate any wins that, the kid may have had. And then they'll go on about the day getting, ready for whatever their next running or field event is. And so we always sit at the 50. It's a tradition. And I know that if I want to sit at the 50-yard line, I have to arrive at the location on time to be able to get that spot. And there's never not been a weekend where we haven't gotten that spot. Even at practice, when we go watch our practice, we get that spot, me and my husband. And so this Saturday was like every other Saturday. We show up, strap down our superbrella, set up our fans, set up our bleacher chairs. I forgot, y'all better get some bleacher chairs if you got a kid that you're thinking about running summer track, because you're gonna be sitting on those metal bleachers, and A, they're hot, B, they're uncomfortable. So a nice little bleacher chair you can kind of recline in, and you'll be good for the day with all your stuff. So we are all set up, right? And this is where I need y'all's opinion. As I set up my tent, here comes another family, and they have their tent. And they have one of the tents that it's not a super umbrella like mine. It's like one that is actually intended for the ground, but a lot of people have figured out the way to get them in the bleachers. And what you have to do, because the bleacher stagger is 2 legs in the back are shorter, 2 legs in the front are longer. And then that way you can position your tent so that it's not leaning, obviously, and then you can actually get under it and see the track. There's many tents already set up by the time we arrived, which was around probably a little after 7 a.m. because events start at 7:30, and this family gets there after our tent is set up. So we had been there for a little while. They're just now getting there. The mom of the family, I could hear, they're by me, but they're not in front of me and they're not talking to me. But in the vicinity, I hear her griping and arguing over their tent. She's like, why won't this leg come undone? I don't know how to do this. And it's her and her daughter there at the time. And then 2 other ladies, I think that's a daughter and a mom, they show up apparently because they're going to sit in the same tent with this same family. So she's hollering, she can't set the tent. And so she decides to just sit there. And she says, I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to wait until my husband gets here. Smart. I would have probably done the same thing, to so much extent I wouldn't even took it out the bag because it is a large tent, so there's no way me and my daughter are finna set this up by ourselves. Little do I know, she also has a teenage son. He pulls up or walks up the bleachers and she's like, oh, good. He's here. He can help us set it up. So he proceeds to start helping the family set up this tent. And they still couldn't figure it out. And she looks up, she's like, oh, good, here comes her husband walking up the bleachers too. Whatever the case may be, she's griping at everyone like, I don't understand why it won't set up right. It won't set up right. What is going on? It must, and the son is like, well, Mom, maybe it's broken. And she's like, it can't be broken. We've only used it 3 times. The son, who must have been wise beyond his years, he says, well, that doesn't mean it can't be broken. He was very wise to say that because it's the truth. Like, just because you use something 1 time, it can break, let alone 3 times or however many, like, things break. So he's just like trying to help her find reasons. She's still griping and dissatisfied. And like I said, then there's when the husband walks up the bleachers and they realize, okay, one of the legs is broken. It won't extend in the way they wanted to extend. And so the husband kind of instructs them, well, guys, we're going to have to rotate it. And because these legs are the shorter ones, we're going to put these in the back. And then the legs we can, fluctuate, move up and down, we'll put those in the front. Y'all, meanwhile, I'm sitting right here. That's how I'm able to hear this conversation so good. They're not even a foot away from me. And here's where I need y'all's advice, because little by little, I just started to get a little bit more agitated with the whole situation, because meanwhile, while they're trying to set up and figure out if the legs are broken or this and the other, they're bumping my setup, like my Super Bowl. They're bumping and they're not saying, excuse me, y'all. They're not saying apologies. They're not saying anything to me, but I can hear them. And so I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to insert myself. I don't want to start any type of debacle or anything. I'm just going to sit here and just make sure my stuff doesn't fall apart or get knocked over or whatever, which it wasn't, because there's, anyone who has like those super umbrellas, it comes with strings. You can you literally have to secure it to the bleachers. And I had already done the work of doing that while my husband was making sure that my daughter was situated for her first events. And so by the time they get to trying to literally rotate their big tent, I mean, they are literally trying to rotate it right up on my shoulder. And so I kind of like, okay, let me shuffle myself around, which was already, I think, problem number 1, because why can't we at least get an excuse me or something? But, I'm trying to be reasonable. And so they're, trying to rotate this tent. Now, if I told you I'm at the 50-yard line at the very top, what's behind you on the home side of the 50-yard line at the very top? The press box. Okay. So the press box is right here. Envision this family trying to set up their tent in front of the press box. while they're trying to rotate it, while they're hollering about legs being broken and all this other stuff. Finally, the press box guy, he comes out and he says, I hate to have to do this, guys, but I can't see. You're going to be kind of blocking my view. I'm going to have to ask you to move your tent. And they said, oh, okay. And he goes back. That exchange is done with and over. They make a decision to move the tent in front of me. Okay. And not even so much in front of me. Like if I'm at the 50, they're like at the 40. And their tent is huge. My tent is medium to small. It's like only 2 to 3 people can fit under mine. Theirs takes up several rows. And I would say width-wise, maybe I would say up to 5 people can sit there. So it's that wide of a tent, that long of a tent. They find it okay and acceptable to plop this tent right at the knees of one of my bleacher chairs. And so as they're doing this, it was very interesting. This is how you really got to watch people. Be a student of people, y'all. You had I told you, the mother who's already irritated and hollering at everybody. You got the husband who's just trying to get things done. You got the son as well and their daughter. And then the 2 other ladies that I told you, I think was a daughter and a mother. They're like also walking past me and placing this tent. And the one of the, I think this was a daughter, she looks to me and she says, oh, I'm sorry. Are we right in front of you? While they're right in front of me. I said, yes. Very calmly, very calm. Like I could, in my head, I was going crazy. But outwardly, I'm like, yes, you're right in front of me. And because the bar is right in front of my knee. And so, y'all, this is what got me. And this is where I really need y'all advice. After they had situated this tent right at my knee, they looked to me and they said, well, we can help you move your things if you'd like. At that point, I was done. Tell me if I'm wrong for feeling a way about this, guys. Tell me if I'm wrong for feeling a way about this family who got here later than me and who couldn't even figure out how to set up their tent and who couldn't even have the awareness to know they're in front of the press box, why I should have to move. Guys, please help me understand it. This is why I brought this story to the radio show today, because I really want y'all's opinions in the comments. Like, am I wrong for feeling like they were wrong for asking me to move? Like, seriously, why should I have to move, guys? Like, I got here early. I set up in a position where I'm not blocking the press box. All of these things I so happen to do right, but they turn to me and they're like, oh, well, we can help you move your things. It's just, you would just have to move 1 foot down. I was like, no, I will not. Okay. As a matter of fact, what I did is I called my husband. And ladies, this is why we need men in our life, which we might get to a little bit later on in this episode of other kind of opinions that I have about that. But this is one circumstance where I needed my husband. And I called him and I'm like, babe, you will not believe what happened. He's like, what? I was like, these people just set the tent right in front of me like I'm invisible and I don't know what to do. He was like, what? Now, mind you, I probably should not have called him because I know my husband. He is temperamental. He will get upset, especially in matters of things having to do with him or his family. He will go from 0 to 100. And so I don't really know my purpose for calling him, but I wanted him. I think what I was trying to do is let him know before he got back, and it became a whole big ordeal, y'all. Like it could have went completely left. So I think I was trying to like give him some preparedness, but tell me, like, in the comments, am I wrong for that? Should I have maybe not told him? Because he was not happy. I wasn't happy, but he really wasn't happy. And that's 2 different kinds of not happy, right? And so, long story short, he ends up making his way back up to the bleachers so that he could see what I was trying to describe to him, and he could see how close they were, right? And at that point, it was like 0 to 100. He's like, are you kidding me? He's like, they put their big bleep tent in front of da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. He's like going in. I'm like, babe, don't say nothing. Don't say nothing. The lady who looked like the mother of the other girl, she leans back. Well, I told you we could help you move your stuff. Meanwhile, I just look at her calmly. I said, I see. Just like that. She's like, what? I was like, I see. And she just turns around. She's like angrily. And I'm like, in my mind, why are you angry? You are the one trying to have me move. You are the one who put this thing right in front of me. You and whoever these people are that you're here with. Like, for you to be looking at me, she was like giving me a nasty look because I was like calm about it and like turning down her help. I don't want your help. When you see right in front of me what you've done, and now you're trying to use your bad feelings, I guess, to like do this reverse ninja and like, let me offer something nice to you, and how dare you turn it down? I don't like that, y'all. I don't like stuff like that. And so, long story short, we ended up kind of getting the situation diffused, or I feel like I did, because what I'm not telling y'all is how the lady who was the mother that was hollering at everybody else, how she thought she was going to holler at me. And how the husband kind of sat there and wasn't saying anything. There was just a lot going on in that moment. But me and my husband just made it work. We effectively did not move. We was right up on them. And I said to myself, you know what? I sure hope their tent makes it today. It was a very windy day. They didn't have their strings to secure their stuff down. And this is why, guys, you do not have to react. This is why you don't have to react to people. Because I feel like that the universe will do it for you. There is something called karma. I believe in it, right? So about 5 minutes later, between this lady talking about she can help me move my things and I forgot to tell y'all, the grandma, I think this was the mother, the main mother's mother, right? She turned around too, talking about, I mean, we can help you move your stuff. And I'm like, okay, I understand. Because that's all I have for y'all. Like, I'm not about to reason with you. I'm not about to allow you to touch my stuff. I'm sorry. I'm just not. If you didn't have consideration for me sitting here, my human body sitting here, I don't trust you with my things, right? So I turned it all down and we just called it a day. We literally called it a day. The mother, she's hollering, we are not in front of you. So she's still in denial. She's still in denial. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm done with this whole situation. I have my shades on. I was done with it at that point. But tell me what y'all think about this story in the comments. Like, am I wrong? Like, should I have accepted their help? Should I have like inserted myself while they were moving their tent in front of me? I don't know. At the end of the day, like, I feel like I was there first. I shouldn't have had to move. I shouldn't have to do anything. And that they should have had more consideration of the people around them. And if they really wanted a spot where they had their large tent in the bleachers, they should have got there earlier. That's what I think. But y'all let me know what y'all think. I just found that to be very crazy. We can help you move your things. Like, no, that is the story. No. I am not moving anything. So anyway, y'all, again, it is a wonderful Monday. I have a few other like topics I could cover, but I'm looking at the time. I'm noticing we're right at that sweet spot for an episode of Just.fm. So I don't want to overload you, but I'm going to save some topics for tomorrow and the rest of this week. I'll still be broadcasting live from Columbus, so tune in. If you like the sweet ambiance of a car ride, I'm so sorry I couldn't have that for you today. I don't know what this production is going to sound like. Who knows? It probably will sound better because there's not all this stuff going on in the background. But hit me up in the comments. Tell me how your weekend went. Tell me what you would do in an instance where someone's just trying to invade your space. Like, what would you do in that circumstance? Like, help me understand. And then tell me, how was your Father's Day? Like, did you celebrate your dad, your husband, your brother, your nephews, your cousins? Like, guys, we need to like really look around and be thankful for the men in our lives, whether they're fathers or not. Like, we need them, we need them for protection, sometimes reason, sometimes logic, and a lot of other things. So if you haven't had a chance to appreciate a man in your life, it doesn't have to be a romantic situation, like any man in your life. This could be a colleague, like I said, your uncle, your cousin, whoever. Like, thank them, let them know that they're appreciated, because life isn't easy right now for a lot of men. Life isn't easy right now for a lot of people, but especially men. So, tell them, if no one's told you today, thank you, and just leave it there. You don't have to say much more. But beyond that, tune in tomorrow. I'll probably talk a little bit about the Streamer University. Not university, universe. The streamer universe is starting to take over celebrity culture, guys. And like I said, as I see things on my timeline, I might touch it, skim the surface, and then bring it here. There's a couple interesting topics that I saw on my timeline this weekend having to do with the streamer university. But until next time, I just wanted to again thank you for tuning in for another episode. If for nothing else, be sure to like this video, subscribe, share it with someone, and send me, your thoughts on what I should do to make this radio show bigger, better, or more conducive for you in your car ride home. And until then, I appreciate you. Bye-bye.
Thanks for riding with Jess.fm. See you next ride.